Hello, viewers. This is Dr. Qamar Cheema, and I'm honored to have today with me Mr. Sajid Tarar. Thank you very much, Tarar sir, for your time for my new channel, The New World.
My pleasure and congratulations. I see your channel is rising up, and you are getting you have a lot of people there watching, a lot of people they're talking.
Thank you. I requested you to talk today American foreign policy towards Middle East because next month we understand that the President Biden is visiting Middle East and he's going to have a new policy for the Middle East where maybe there is a rapprochement between Saudi Arabia and America. So how do you see American foreign policy towards Middle East, particularly during President Biden's tenure? And you can also recall some of the time of the President Trump.
That's a wonderful subject, and especially at this time after the COVID and especially the rise of the crude oil and the Biden trip going to Saudi Arabia. It has a big significance, especially in U.S. relationship with the Middle East. But let me start something with a brief background of U.S.-Saudi relationship. Saudi Arabia came into existence in 1932, and 1933, oil was discovered there. So there's a 76 years of relationship in the past, and still Saudi economy was the oil-based economy. But we have to start the U.S. relationship from the Yalta Conference. Yalta Conference was done from the Franklin Roosevelt, and he made a secret trip to Israel on U.S. Quincy was a battleship, which was made to cater the president on it, and president made a secret trip to the Suez Canal, and that's where he met the Saudi king that time, and it was arranged by the military man. It was called the Colonel Bill Eddy. Bill Eddy was lately, after that, was considered Lawrence of Arabia, who was very instrumental in the Middle East relationship. And after that, when the British lost the Second World War and a lot of new countries came into existence. So the beginning of the U.S.-Saudi relationship started from 1945 and afterwards. The U.S. has seen many things, especially oil related, because the U.S. Copied the roads of they laid the network of the roads, copying Germany Autobahn and everything. And what came afterwards was when the roads were built here, they needed oil for the cars, they needed gas, petrol for the cars. So the U.S. relationship with the Saudi Arabia based on two things. One is the oil, and second is the armaments. So these are the two foundations of the U.S. and Saudi relationship, and it has a lot of ups and downs. And third thing, which recently came up there, was the Iran conflict or Iran issues with the Saudi Arabia. So now then, when we're talking about Iran, when we're talking about oil, then we're talking about armaments. So the two different theories come into the existence. One is a Democrat angle, then the Republican angle. Recently, let me give you an example of it. In 70s, there was oil was used as a weapon by Saudis and the OPEC countries, and America and the other countries, they came onto the knees to make the new relationship. They realized that we have to be their allies regardless how, and this is a foundation of their economy. This is very instrumental for the economy in the U.S. So then later on, two theories wanted to compare the Republican approach with the Saudi relationship and the Democrat approach. The Republicans you have seen recently, the Donald Trump period was the extreme of right side. So they had drilled their own oil here in the U.S. And that's why the oil prices became very cheap, very low, in $30, $25, or even then, it was remarkable. But it has a lot of U.S. oil. So they were. This was the fundamental part of his mandate to become independent from the oil dependency from the Middle East countries, especially Saudi Arabia. That was the number one thing, approach from the Republican side. Second thing is this: the stronger army, stronger Pentagon is part of the Republican ideology. So that it means the sales of armaments. And I still remember when Donald Trump went to Saudi Arabia, he sold a lot of armaments to the Saudis. And the third thing is ultimately the foreign policy. And when the Trump went to Saudi Arabia, he was very well received there, and you probably have seen the stories and the movies about the way he was received, the way he met the Saudis. And the third thing was the Iran and Yemen issue. So the Republican, you probably have seen it, Donald Trump came up there and he canceled his atomic deal with them. So he was basically he was giving a favor to Saudi. So these are the three fundamental things which Republicans did. And what happened when the Joe Biden won the election, and even then during the campaign, especially what the Biden administration did, they undid everything which the Donald Trump did. They were trying to undo everything. They wanted to go completely against what the Donald Trump did. During the Obama period, when he used to go to Saudi Arabia, the mayor of Riyadh used to receive him, versus a king used to come receive him. And I still remember the Americans, they were very embarrassed. One time Obama went up there and he came off of his airplane, and it was the time for the prayers, and all the Saudi princes and the royalty and everybody came up there. They left him by the stairs, and they went to the prayers. So the Americans, they were very embarrassed at that point. Versus the way they were dealing with Jared Kushner and Donald Trump. So this is what the Democrat Party did when they were running for the office. Biden, they made the huge issue out of Jamal Khashoggi. Jamal Khashoggi was a green card holder, and he was working for Washington Post. So they said that Donald Trump, they were playing low, so they wanted to go with the full force against the Saudis, and they were trying, and CIA even then got involved, and they were trying to blame MBS Mohammed bin Salman's connection with the Adnan Khashoggi's murder in Turkey. So they made a big deal out of it, and plus they wanted to embarrass Saudis due to their relationship with the Republican Party and Donald Trump. With the full swing, that Joe Biden came up there and damaged the U.S.-Saudi relationship, blaming Mohammed bin Salman with it, and then making a big deal. And matter of fact, not only this, a lot of people, they were thinking that there will be case in the U.S. against Mohammed bin Salman, and he will be subpoenaed or he will be charged against it. So relationship, and then you probably have seen the Tony Blinken, who was the advisor to the Obama, and he is the founder of the U.S.-Iran atomic deal. So he became the Secretary of State, and then they started negotiating with Iran again. And now the Qatar is talking to the Iran on behalf of America. So these are the things. This is a situation. Plus, here I wanted to mention where we stand today. We're standing today because a lot of people believe the current administration is called the third term of Obama. And why third term Obama? Because the reason most of the people, they are in cabinet, they were advisors to the Obama, including Tony Blinken. And what was the ideology of Obama? Obama fantasized the democratic socialist model of Scandinavian countries. That's what in his mind that we need to work on it. They have John Kerry is playing a major role towards the environment here, and they have created this drama. I believe this is drama, that the gasoline has to be close to $8 or $9 per gallon here in the U.S. So the people are forced to drive bicycles. They're forced to share the rides. They're forced to travel on trains. This is what the Barack Obama's ideology. To make the petrol or the gasoline so expensive, like democratic socialist countries like Scandinavia, the petrol is so expensive there. So he wants to adopt the same philosophy here. And that's where we're standing at. They forgot one thing. The American urbanization, according to the American urbanization, public transportation has failed America. Every household has 2 cars. There is a huge country, and the people cannot go to work on the public transportation. That is number one. Second point is this: when the gasoline goes to the $8 per gallon, what comes next? Because your bread and butter and egg, everything travel on the trucks. and where the trucks are run by the diesel. So everything goes so expensive. And right now, after COVID, since where the chain was broken, supply chain was broken. Second thing is this: America, because due to the Obama ideology, we're still dealing with the democratic socialism. The government is still sending checks to people to sit home, not to work. And inflation is touching the roof. Defunding police, law and order is in crisis. Drug markets are open in the country. But here, related to the Saudi Arabia, America right now, the Joe Biden administration has been trying to get in touch with Mohammed bin Salman, trying to call him to request him to increase the production of oil, but he was not picking up his calls. So here, when he is going to Saudi Arabia, there are different kind of questions are coming at in the media that he will not be asking Saudis to increase the production. They are trying to portray this picture that Joe Biden is going to Saudi Arabia for the Israel's relationship, and then Israel's relationship, which was started during the Donald Trump period. So he wants to go there to strengthen that Abraham Accord. But indirectly, this is the sole purpose of his trip, to go to Saudi Arabia to request Mohammed bin Salman to convince OPEC countries to increase the production of oil, so for the U.S. and other countries can get the cheaper oil. And here I wanted to mention, U.S. foreign policy right now is completely a big failure, because since the Russia has gone to Ukraine, they had made $28 billion by selling the oil to India and China. And imagine about it, America was just talking about embargoes and things, and ruble has gained a lot of strength. So American foreign policy is failing, and the Biden administration, they are trying to undo what they have done before with the Saudis. So they want to go there and kiss them to increase the production of the oil. So this is the brief analysis what the Biden wants to do. But there's still, again, there are a lot of things to be discussed. Before his trip, Mohammed bin Salman has made a trip to Turkey to make to mend their relationship. Their policy towards Yemen has been changed. So the Mohammed bin Salman looks very strong, and he is building new relationship with the China and Russia as well. They are trying to get out of the shadow of America, which they have been living since so long.
So, Mr. Sajid, since you have been saying that America is isolated, and since President Biden is in office, things are not good with the Middle East. But if you would just look at the Abraham Accord, wasn't that the Americans were mainstreaming Israel in the Arab world, and they were bringing the Arab world closer with Israel? Wasn't that a success of the American foreign policy? One thing. Second, if there is an I2U2, where there is when President Biden is coming in the Middle East, there is going to be a Quad-like summit where Israel, India, UAE, and Americans, they're going to have a multilateral arrangement to talk about, and they're mainstreaming India. They're taking India from South Asia to Middle East. So don't you think that the America is in process of making new alliances, chalking out new multilateral platforms for the success of their foreign policy, and having an Abraham Accord? Don't you think this is a success? So how come you can say that if these developments have happened, and now they are happening more even in the next month in shape of I2U2?
Abraham Accord was signed during the Donald Trump period, during the Republican period. And that time, the U.S. economy was strong, U.S. foreign policy was strong, and Pentagon was strong. It was different period that time. And plus, at the same time, I want to mention the Jared Kushner, who was a son-in-law of the Donald Trump, who was in charge of all of these things. And I think he took a lot of credit that and he's a Jewish by religion. And not only this, a practicing Jewish with the Sabbath and everything. So this was the Abraham Accord, and bringing all the Bahrain and the UAE and all of these states on the table. Matter of fact, I wanted to tell you, Saudis, they wanted to test the water, because all of these states were talking about Qatar, Bahrain, and the other Middle East states, they were the strong allies of the Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia wanted to test the water before they jump into the recognition of Israel, and especially the Neom city. First time the Saudi airspace was used by the Jewish planes. And not only this, the Jewish prime minister even then has, or some other officials, they went to Saudi Arabia near Noam city, which is Mohammed bin Salman, and the Saudis, they think they want the independence from the oil-based economy, and they will build a big technology city there. But Ibrahim Accord was a baby for the Republicans and Jared Kushner and Trump. But here, imagine about it, when that Biden came into the power, when the Obama got his third term, the minute they came into it, they started talking to Iran. And during the Iran period, during the Obama period, imagine what was their achievement. They gave so much cash to Iran. And with most of the Americans, they believe that cash which has gone to Iran, it already has strengthened Hezbollah and the other Iranian-based organizations in Syria. But Democrat here, during the Trump administration, a lot of people believe that America went into isolation by his slogan "America First" and coming out of the Paris Accord and a lot of other things. But here, at the same time, you have to keep in your mind that during the Trump administration, there was no in conflict or war was started, and plus he was the leader, unpredictable. He had no history in the American politics. So all the international leaders, they used to respect him. And matter of fact, not only respect, they were nervous and scared from him at the same time, that he was unpredictable. But here, Biden has a history of 50 years. He has served in a foreign relations committee, so you can predict what he's going to do. And plus, he was a vice president with Obama. So they are completely like an open book. And that is one of the reasons that Russia went to the Ukraine, because they know the Americans won't fight. They can't afford to get into the conflict. This is not their mandate. So not only the Russia, China, the entire world is taking advantage of America's weak foreign policy and their predictability, which makes them more vulnerable. But here now, going to the Saudi Arabia, like I'm telling you, the State Department and another Democrat politicians here in U.S., they are trying to draw the picture that he is going there to strengthen the relationship with Middle East and improve the relationship of Israel with the Middle Eastern countries. But I'm telling you, because the way the American gas prices, the petrol prices are going up, it is costing arm and leg to fill up the gas, and the grocery items and all livelihood and everything is so expensive that is unbelievable. And I believe that is the only thing forcing Biden to go there right now and talk to them, to MBS, and then not only this, you know that OPEC, OIC, all of these, they are propaganda organizations for Saudis. So ultimately, they will get benefit out of it to have the OPEC to increase the crude oil prices. And again, then second thing you mentioned, and I was reading about I2 and U2. First of all, I was surprised what is I2 and U2. These are the matter of fact that the new quads, and they are coming up with the funny names. I2 means that there are two I's, India and Israel, and there are U2s, two U's, United States of America and the United Arab Emirates. And I'm surprised. But the quads, two things I wanted to discuss regarding these quads. One was the Indo-Pacific, where was Japan and Australia was engaged in Indo-Pacific, and especially in the sea supremacy. That is the biggest trade route for China to supply their products to the world. And that's where the America and India, they want to have their influence on that region in the sea. But now they want to engage the West Asia. And that's where they wanted to engage, UAE, Israel, and India and US. But this is, I can say, it started from the Jaishankar trip to Israel. And that's where he met all of these people. The Israel and Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and the new Israel's prime minister, and that's where this idea came from. So basically, if you see it, what the intentions are to curtail China, to make the cooperation or make these alliances to isolate China. And then ultimately, when they go against China doing anything, Pakistan comes with it at the same time. And unfortunately, the way that Pakistan is suffering right now, a political and financial crisis, ultimately the weight somehow goes against Pakistan as well. And it's a success for India. And India has been.
Sorry, I will cut you, but here, and I wanted to ask the same question to you. How do you see why President Joe Biden is mainstreaming India in the Middle East? Why do you think that? Do you think that there is a presence of the Indian diaspora in White House, State Department, other, or do you think that has the ability that the Americans can have them in the Middle East? Why do you think? What is the American logic to have India in the Middle East?
This is based on the history. The Barack Hussein Obama was the founder of it. He was the one who picked up India as a better partner in that region, and he made the decision that India can serve us better against China. So he gave a status of partnership in that region, and he made a few very successful trips. Clinton was the same way. And what is the common in between both of them? They were both Democrats. They were both influenced by Indian lobby in Washington, D.C. They were both influenced by the Indian diaspora. So right now, if you personally see, in White House is still surrounded by the Indian lobby, Indian diaspora, and their policy-related appointments. So again, why they want to enhance India in that region, because they believe that India can serve better against China. And then on the top of it, it's not only one-sided. I believe that Jaishankar and other people, they have done a good job, a wonderful job, success of diplomacy. And imagine, let me give you a simple example of it. When the Turkey buy as 400, they face the sanctions. But when when the India buy as 400, they just get a free pass. So imagine about it how favorite that India is among the American foreign policy. So these are the reasons India is getting benefit. India is successful in manipulating that we can serve you better against China, and Americans, they are buying it. This is the whole story. When the Republicans will come back, they will even then, in the presence of all of this pressure and the Indian lobby and the Indian diaspora here in DC, they will still try to balance that thing. The biggest example, regardless how weaker the relationship with the Pakistan were, but Donald Trump was still trying to balance something. And the biggest example of this, he was again and again was trying to arbitrate the relationship in between India, Pakistan, based on Kashmir and a lot of other. And not only this, when the Howdy Modi was done, he still mentioned the name of Pakistan. When he went to India, he mentioned there the name of Pakistan, and he emphasized how India-Pakistan relationship, they are important for the U.S. But right now, during the Democrat period, Pakistan has no chance, and China has no chance, because right now, what is their eyes and ear is the Indian lobby in Washington, D.C.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sajid Tarar, for helping us to understand the American foreign policy towards Middle East, and what are the reasons that America wants to have India in Middle East. Thank you very much for your time and for your valuable comments.
My pleasure, and Pakistan.